Hello and welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Joy Macknight, Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm here with Vince Tallent, CEO of fastacash, which is a social payments company based in Singapore, but has just opened operations here in the UK as well. So thanks for joining us, Vince. Can you tell us a little bit about fastacash and how the technology works that underpins it?
Yeah, Joy, look, I mean, when we started the journey, it was all about how do you make a social payments experience a very simple one. And what we mean by that is if I can send you a photo or a video over WhatsApp or any communication channel like Viber or Skype or any social network or messaging channel, why can't I send you money or any form of value? And for us, value can be money, but it can be airtime, it can be a merchant coupon, QR code, any form of value really that senders and receivers deem as value. And then of course we started to look at how does money move around the world? And the World Bank projected $600 billion would move in 2015. We looked at the way that money moves, and 300 billion of that terminates in Asia. And of course, when you look at how people communicate in Asia with other parts of the world, they're communicating with their families on WhatsApp and Skype and Viber and a multitude of social networks. So our view is how can we make it really simple for that $300 billion terminating in Asia to actually terminate on a social network and use social networks as a way to move the value around, because that's where people are living and breathing. They're actually communicating with their families on these social mediums.
Okay, and do you consider yourself to be a disruptor to the incumbent banks or?
Look, I personally have a view that I think as long as we keep the end users in mind, that's the most important thing. I don't call it disruption. I call it bringing best-in-class experiences to the end users. And our view is, we do that by building technology that makes it really easy for people to use. So in the end, it's not about disruption per se. It's about finding the right partners in the financial world who really want to bring a user experience to their users to help them transact. And what I mean by that is we want to make the transaction capability exactly the same as the communication experience. So I come back to my earlier statement, if I can send you a photo or a video over WhatsApp, why can't I send you money?
Okay, and so you're based in Singapore, and that's one of the cities that sort of vies with London to be the global fintech hub. What is the advantages of being in Singapore?
Look, I think the biggest advantage of Singapore really is its access to neighboring countries like India, China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand. I come back to that $300 billion that's terminating in Asia. It's terminating in that part of the world. So what it gives us unique insights, I believe, into how people in Asia transact and what are they looking for. So Asia, again, is predominantly still a very large cash region. It's a large proportion of people that are unbanked, but yet everyone's got a smartphone and everyone's on social. So how do you take that from a market characteristic perspective and build a truly unique transaction experience? That's really, I think, what Singapore gives us. And of course, Singapore, if you look at, in its entirety as a financial center, it has banks that are actually innovating, which I think is an important part of this, who are willing to partner with young technology companies to really bring our technology to market with that one goal in mind again. How do we address the end user? How do we make it easier for them?
And then my last question is really about what do you see in terms of trends in payments coming up in the next, say, 12 months?
Look, I think the biggest thing that we're spotting really is transaction experience over social is not just about me moving money to you peer to person. It's not about just domestic or international transfers. It's about payments generally. So I come back to a person to merchant payment. Why can't I make a person to merchant payment over a social network, over a messaging channel? So we see social as being a key driver for transaction volumes. And inherently in that statement is about consumer behavior. So how can the fact that I can send you a message and you can then start communicating with me and I can then share that with other members of my family, how can we replicate that social experience onto a transaction layer? Whether that's person-to-person transfers or whether that's me buying a product for a family member or a friend. An important part of this.
All right. Well, that's great. Thanks so much for coming in today, Vince.
Thank you.